Nimpal Channel Marine Conservation Area is located on the main island of Yap. It's at the west side. It's about 77.5 hectares in size. It contains the Nimpal Natural Channel, and the reef flat area includes the outer reef and a blue hole. The Nimpal Marine Conservation Area is 1/3 of the total fishing ground for the two communities of Kadai and Okao. We could tell that this area is not one of the best around the main island in terms of biodiversity. But for us in Kadai and Okao, we have a limited fishing ground. So this is the only area that we think it's best to have the marine conservation area.
Long time ago, I was young and used to go fishing with other young men. I listened to old people talk about fishing in the village, in the community. Fishing is part of Yapi's life, our daily life. I saw a lot of changes compared to before when I was young going fishing. Long time ago, I did not see many dead coral, but the last time I went fishing, I saw a lot of dead coral and a lot of places in the water that there is very few fish. It wasn't like before.
The key thing for the community was their fisheries. That's what they were. They saw a decline in their fishery, and that's what they were interested in, bringing back that fishery.
In Yap, our culture, this village touches water. Nobody should be fishing in that water. But now it's a little bit different. People are poaching during night time.
The community men and the community chief decide the solutions for the community.
Yeah, but that time, 2005, fish were very scarce. So the two villages like here, Okao and Krai, came up with the idea to do something about it. So we get together, the whole community. Then we all agreed to do something like this.
That's when we come up with this idea to do a conservation area.
At first, it was only Kadai, decide to do the MPA, but then soon after, the leaders of Okao village decide to join with us to come up with an MPA plan.
Because to include, for example, the channel, the marine channel, the Nimpal Marine Channel, that area of the reef, the two villages have shared fishing rights in that. So it couldn't just be one village making that commitment. Both villages needed to be part of it. So that's how, the villages work, utilizing their traditional alliances. These are villages that they're within the same municipality. They have history of working together on projects. They came together, and then the zone was expanded to what it is now. If they chose to do a no-take area, they can't do a no-take area on someone else's fishing ground. It has to be their own fishing ground. So there is some sacrifice that the community has to give.
When the community decided to form a conservation area, there were people that were not in favor. Some people in the community thought it was a foreign idea and may not work.
People, they need money. And usually they catch fish to sell.
Okay, more people are dependent on a cash-based economy nowadays due to lifestyle changes. So a conservation area was seen as limiting their access to where they can earn an income from. However, conservation practices are built into our traditional ways from many eons ago. But when we use the word conservation instead of the local term, people think it's a foreign solution to a problem.
Because of our culture, the chief is the only person who can say yes, and the only person who can say no.
And therefore, everyone follow the chief's order and form a core group to achieve the goal of the marine conservation area.
They are doing the most work on the project, then inform the two villages on what they need or what needed to be done in order to improve the protected area.
And it's not for us today, but probably for our young generation in the future.
There is something to it that, if it fails, it's not just, the individual community members that fail, but then it reflects badly on, the whole community, not just one village, but two villages. So, in Yapis, that's very big. So at the beginning, they had to really think hard about it. But once they made that decision, they really have to stick behind it, because not to be 100% committed to it will just be the laughing stock. No one wants to be the laughing stock. Or you talk the talk and you better walk the talk. You can't just talk it and not walk it. You have to walk it. For us islanders, we're an oral culture. So, we tell stories, everything is in our chants, and we're not really writing people. But now that we have outside resources and outside people that are interested in supporting the work that we do, it's critical to have it written, because outside our Pacific Island cultures, it's written. We need things to be written out so that we have it in black and white and it's clear. There's currently a lot of NGOs and partners that are out in the region, supporting this type of work, and especially utilizing these highly participatory tools to help communities organize their thoughts and then rank those actions.
The man from the two community decided that the youth should be more involved in the enforcement program for the marine conservation area. In about 2009, that's when the enforcement started. We built surveillance platform and anchor it next to the MPA. We have guys staying there overnight. They stay there, they look for any activity that's happening within and around the MPA. Outside of the no-take zone, we confiscate unattended net and we ban commercial fishing, and we only allow subsistence fishing. We put out the solar lamp at the boundary of the no-take zone, and we also put out some sticks at the 50-feet buffer zone to also clarify the buffer zone, and also for the enforcement to see the no-take zone area. When we encounter the violator in the MPA, we dealt with them in the traditional way. We confiscate their gear, and we brought the violator to the community for the chief and the community to decide their punishment. Compared to when the two villages formed the MPA, we've noticed a great change in the community's behavior. Enforcement is an important part of that. We encounter less poachers in the MPA. People are aware of the rules, and people begin to respect and see the benefit of the MPA. The community see that the MPA is working. We've seen that the corals are, healthier, and fish are coming back. So, yes, we can say that the the MPA is working. More fishermen want to fish as close as possible to the MPA. So people comply.
My name is Lucas Isal, and I'm a researcher here at the Palau International Coral Reef Center. And we did some work in Nimpal, looking at the protected area and comparing it to a neighboring reference site. And Nimpal is amazing because it has the second highest fish densities, or the number of fish in any protected area in the region, and it's only second to Helen Reef. And Helen Reef is a very remote atoll. So this is a very good example of a protected area that is close to people. It's being managed by 2 neighboring villages. And yet this village has managed to manage this protected area. And we are seeing fish numbers and fish abundance that is comparable to protected areas that are remote, that have no fishing pressure, that have no pressure coming from local communities living close to these protected areas.
What I have learned today when I go fishing nighttime is the big eye snapper. We catch big one, but before you don't catch, not even small one.
After visiting some communities that member of the Yap Alman were really interested, and they wanted to do the same thing in their community. So it proves that the MPA is working. Yap Alman is a stand for Yap Locally Managed Area Network. It is a group that recently formed to come together and share the experience from each other. Yap Alman has members from almost every community.
My name is Jonathan Falal. I'm from here in Yap State, but I represent the community of Gachpar village. I got involved with Alman primarily through my community that looked at marine conservation as a viable option for them. We have been having depletion of reef fish that my village depend on for food and sustenance. Nimpal conservation area right here that we're at right now was the one that inspired us to get into the marine protected area movement, and we've seen their success. We've seen the amount of fish that their area has yielded, and we wanted to be a part of that. I would drive here and just stand on the ledge right there and look down and realize that the fish that are swimming close to humans is not what's happening on the other side of the island, which is my side of the island. And that's what really happened for our community. Everyone knew about Nimpal, but it was the fishermen that said Nimpal is important because of these reasons. Any island in the Pacific, a fisherman has great status in the community, and everyone listens to them in terms of expertise and knowledge that they've passed from fisherman to fisherman. That ties directly into self-sustenance from the water. So when the fishermen started saying an MPA is important, this is why, everyone listened. And then that's what started the whole process in getting our marine protected area going. There is an advantage to having an MPA. An MPA is not going to cut your livelihood in terms of fishing, in terms of providing for your family. It doesn't do that. It only ensures that your family in the future are going to have something that's truly their own.
Although the community's strategy of keeping the fish population was a success, a land-based activity such as development can ruin this success. Healthy coral reef system and fish habitat is important for recovery and being resilient to potential climate change impacts.
What my community is concerned about is the soil erosion. Here we have the marine conservation area, and the mangrove is the nursery for the smaller fish. And if there's a lot of sedimentation in the mangrove, it will not be as a nursery for the smaller fish.
To sustain the community's MPA effort, they have expanded their work into terrestrial areas by using the reef to reef approach. This work benefits the whole community, and it also made it easy for outside technical assistance to support their terrestrial works. The Nipa Nursery is a coastal strengthening project which the community wanted to plant nipa and transplant them along the shoreline. They also want to utilize the nursery for fruit plants for their agroforestry.
We have a plant area that we are protecting now. It's about 92 hectares. It is important so we can have much better control on development. So we can have a better management on how to do it in a way that will minimize the erosion to the ocean. So we come up with this plan to grow the nipa in the nursery until to a certain height, then we plant them back in here. Yeah, if you come back here in 5 years in this area, you will see nipa growing. It will help the community in many ways, like typhoon. It will help breaking down the winds that blowing in, and also help soil erosion during rainy season into the mangrove and the water.
We all know that if our resources are as healthy as they are, it's better for them, they probably could bounce back easier if they have like future impacts from climate change, like increased sea level temperature, causing bleaching and stuff. So as much as we want our reefs to be healthy, puts the community in a better position to deal with climate change.
I believe the Nimpal case study is a great example of ecosystem management that is led by community. It yields greater benefit to the whole community as well as statewide.
Yeah, my message to other communities is to be organized and organize themselves to that they can better prepare and be involved.
If you're committed to it, if it's something that you strongly, passionately believe in, then I think you should just go for it and work with what you have. This project, if you're gonna look at Yap State as a whole, this project was in physical site-wise, it's not the most biodiverse or the most pretty underwater, for Yap State, but the community, was committed to it, and they believed in it and continued to pursue it, in good times, bad times, but they continued and persevered.
When we first start our conservation area, I have received many complaints from people. One reason is that because they are afraid we're stopping them from their income. And because our chief has the right to stop everything, until about 2 years after, everyone in these two communities began to see the outcome and the risk that we took for those 2 years to protect one area, and nobody will get in. So that's something for a new community that has to to think about, because it's better to take a 2-year risk just not to fish, but you can fish after that 2 years, instead of keep on fishing and then later on, maybe about 10 years after or 20 years after, you go fish, you don't catch any. So you take risk to maintain the amount of fish in there, instead of not taking any risk to abandon your reef or deplete fish on your reef.
Your community took the risk.
We took the risk.
What was the result?
The result is everyone's happy.